My name is Chisa and I will be your guide in this course. Let's begin with how we will go through this course. Right now we are here at the start and right here is where we will finish this course. Along the way, we will learn about the parts of our body, including those we cover with undergarments. We will also learn about safe and unsafe touches. Finally, how children like you can learn to stay safe and ask for help if you ever feel unsafe. Neha and Amir will be our friends in this course. This is what they said when they first started this course.
We study maths and science in school, but this topic is new to me.
I am curious about what is going to happen. Oh, and the dog looks funny.
Thanks, Amir. We will hear from both you and Neha from time to time. The first step in our journey is to learn more about our body. Teachers use posters like this in school to explain body parts to young kids. The eyes and hands are generally shown on such posters. But some parts of our body are not shown here. These missing parts are private parts. The parts of our body that are covered with a swimming suit or undergarments are called private parts. Now, I know it can be really strange to talk about these parts of our body. When we first started talking about private parts, this is what Neha and Amir said.
Back then, I felt shy and wanted to cover my eyes. We generally don't talk about this.
I started giggling. I just could not stop laughing.
As this is a new topic and generally not spoken about, it is okay to feel this way. But do remember, it is not okay to tease other kids about their private parts. Understood?
Yes, I felt like giggling too, but I will always remember this.
But Chisa, why are we learning this?
Good question, Amir. We are talking about this topic because just like your eyes and hands, your private parts also need to be kept healthy and safe. So far, we have learned about private parts. Now, we are going to talk about safe and unsafe touches. But before that, here is a question for you. Look at these two images. In the first image, a person is using a bridge to get to the platform. In the second image, a person is crossing the train tracks to get to the platform. Which situation is safe and which is unsafe? What do you think, Neha?
The person using the bridge is safe because trains can easily pass below him. The other person is unsafe as he can get into an accident with the train.
You are right, Neha. Well done. Now, much like this example, some touches can be safe or unsafe. Here are two examples. You hear thunder which frightens you. You rush to your mother who hugs you to comfort you. In the second image, an uncle hugs you tightly from behind. Which of these is a safe touch and which is an unsafe touch? What do you think, Amir?
Your mother hugging you is a safe touch.
Why is that?
Because you were scared and your mother is helping you feel safe.
That is correct.
The uncle hugging tightly from behind is an unsafe touch. If this happened to me, I would not like it.
Thanks, Amir. So, we just learned about what is safe and unsafe. Some touches can be safe, whereas some can be unsafe for you. In the next video, we will learn of a simple rule that we can use to keep ourselves safe. To keep your private parts safe, here is a rule you can use. It is unsafe to touch, look at, or talk about our private parts, except to keep our private parts clean and healthy. When we showed this rule to Neha, this is what she said.
This rule is confusing. Can you explain this slowly?
Sure, Neha. This rule has three main parts: touch, look at, and talk about. Let's start with touch. It is unsafe for someone to touch our private parts. So, imagine that a teacher is teaching you about the parts of the body. While teaching, the teacher touches your private parts. Is this safe? What do you think, Neha?
No, this is not safe.
Does this break our safety rule?
The safety rule says it is unsafe for someone to touch our private parts. This example breaks our safety rule.
Great! Here's another example. An older child kicks you on your private parts while playing together. Is this safe? You can pause the video to think about this. Once you have done that, play the video again. What do you think, Amir?
It is unsafe for someone to kick you in your private parts.
Correct! Does this break our safety rule?
The rule is, it is unsafe for someone to touch our private parts. This example breaks our safety rule.
Well done! Okay, here's one more example. A boy and a girl shake each other's hands. Neha, is this safe or unsafe?
Shaking hands is safe.
Does this break our safety rule?
Here, private parts are not being touched. So, this does not break our safety rule.
Correct! Remember, the rule is it is unsafe for someone to touch our private parts. Okay, one last example. When you are playing the game Doctor Doctor with your friend touches your private parts. Is this safe or unsafe?
No, this is unsafe. The safety rule is broken because it is unsafe for someone to touch our private parts.
That's correct, Amir. Okay, now let's see the full safety rule again and focus on look at. It is unsafe for someone to look at our private parts. Here's an example. An uncle wants to show you a magazine having pictures of people who are not wearing any clothes. Is this safe, Neha?
This is not safe. The rule is it is unsafe for someone to look at our private parts. This example breaks the rule.
Correct! Here's another example. 3 young boys peek into a girl's bathroom. Is this safe?
This is not safe because it is unsafe for someone to look at our private parts.
Great! Okay, let's return to the full rule. And this time, let's focus on talk about. It is unsafe for someone to talk about our private parts. Here is an example. Your cousin teases you and makes comments about your private parts. Is that safe?
That is not safe. The rule states that it is unsafe for someone to talk about our private parts. As the cousin is talking about our private parts, the rule is broken.
Great! Here is one more example. Your uncle shares a joke with you about your private parts. Is that safe?
This is unsafe. The uncle is talking about private parts, which breaks the rule.
Fantastic! So, here is the full rule one more time. It is unsafe to touch, look at, or talk about our private parts. By the way, there is a final part of this rule that we haven't spoken about yet. We will talk about it soon. Here is our safety rule. As promised, we will now show you the last part of the rule. Here it is. It is unsafe to touch, look at, or talk about our private parts, except to keep our private parts clean and healthy. Here is an example. A doctor gives you an injection on your private parts in front of your parents. Is this safe? What do you think, Neha?
The doctor is touching and looking at our private parts. But I think this is safe because he's doing it to keep us healthy.
That is correct. If you are unwell, the doctor gives you an injection to help you recover. Even though this injection might hurt you and is given on your private parts, it does not break our rule. The full rule says it is unsafe for someone to touch, look at, or talk about our private parts, except to keep our private parts clean and healthy. Since the doctor is trying to keep us healthy, this example does not break our safety rule. Okay, here's one more example. You broke your arm so it is in a plaster. Your mother helps you change your clothes. Does that break the safety rule? What do you think, Amir?
While changing our clothes, our mother might touch and look at our private parts. But she's doing it to keep us clean. So, this does not break our safety rule.
Great. Here's the rule one last time. It is unsafe for someone to touch, look at, or talk about our private parts, except to keep our private parts clean and healthy. So far, we have learned about the safety rule that you can use to keep yourself safe. Let's start by reminding ourselves of the safety rule. It is unsafe to touch, look at, or talk about my private parts, except to keep my private parts clean and healthy.
What if someone breaks this rule?
Well, if someone breaks this rule, you can say no to them and get away from there. Remember, you can say no to them and get away from there.
Saying no will not work, Jisa. Not at all.
Saying no has a good chance of working, Amir, because the other person will realize that you know which actions and behaviors are safe and unsafe.
If someone breaks my safety rule, I'll kick that person, maybe even bite him.
If there is a stone next to me, I will hit him with that. Or I will punch him.
I understand your response, Neha and Amir, but punching and biting the person is not the best response because the person can also hurt and harm you. Saying no and getting away is the smarter and safer thing to do.
What if I feel scared and I'm not able to say no?
That is a good question, Neha. It is okay if you're not able to say no, but just try to get away from that place.
Can I scream for help?
Yes, you can scream for help. That is a good idea, Amir.
Chisa, if I say no to an older person, it would mean that I'm being rude to them, right?
No, Neha. We may feel that by saying no to elders or family members, we may hurt or disrespect them, or they may stop talking to us. However, we need to remember that if their actions make us feel unsafe, then we need to say no. Otherwise, this behavior might continue. I'm so happy that you are asking such thoughtful questions, Amir and Neha. Remember, if someone breaks the safety rule, you can say no to them and get away from there. Let's do a small exercise to understand this better. And one more important thing. If someone makes you feel unsafe or breaks a safety rule, remember, it is not your fault. Next, let us see what you can do after saying no and getting away. We saw that if someone breaks our safety rule, you can say no and get away from there. After that, you can tell what happened to a helpful adult.
Who is a helpful adult?
Good question, Neha. A helpful adult is someone who lives near you and is above the age of 18. This person will listen to you and believe you. More importantly, they will help you. This is the person with whom you will feel safe. It could be a mother, father, grandparents, dada-dadi or nana-nani, teachers or even your neighbors.
I don't think I can talk to my parents about this. They will get angry and shout at me. Can I talk to my sister, brother or friend about this?
Yes, Amir, you can. They can assist you in finding an adult who can help.
What if I tell this to an adult and they do not help me?
In that case, keep telling any helpful adult until you get the help you need.
Oh, can I also talk to my favorite superhero or cartoon about this? Will they save me?
Have you met these characters in real life, Amir?
No.
So, it is best to find help from an adult you know. Remember, a helpful adult is someone who lives near you and is above the age of 18. This adult will listen to you and can help you. I also want to remind you that if someone breaks your safety rule, then it is not your fault. We saw that if someone breaks our safety rule, you can say no and get away from there. After that, you can tell what happened to a helpful adult. Always remember that whatever happened is not your fault.
If I am unable to say no in an unsafe situation, isn't it my fault?
An excellent question, Neha. No, it is still not your fault. Sometimes, in an unsafe situation, we might feel scared or confused and find it difficult to say no. Let us learn about this with an example. Ishan's mother asked him not to stay back in the park alone, but Ishan stayed back when his friends left because he wanted to swing for some more time. As he was alone, the watchman of the park showed him a video on his mobile of adults without any clothes. Ishan was scared and could not say no to the watchman, so he had to watch the videos. Amir, do you think this is safe or unsafe?
This is unsafe.
Do you think it was Ishan's fault that he faced this unsafe situation?
Yes, it was Ishan's fault. He faced this unsafe situation as he did not listen to his mother.
No, Neha. Even if he did not listen to his mother, it is still not Ishan's fault that he faced this unsafe situation. Remember, no matter the situation, anyone makes you feel unsafe and breaks your safety rule, it is not your fault. Ishan could not say no to the watchman as he was scared. Amir, do you think it was Ishan's fault?
No, it was not Ishan's fault. He was scared and could not say no in this situation.
Great, Amir. It is not your fault, even if you cannot say no and get away from an unsafe situation. Neha, Ishan could not share it with a helpful adult. He thought he would be scolded for not listening to his mother. Do you think it was Ishan's fault?
No, it was not his fault as he was scared.
Great. It is not your fault, even if you cannot tell a helpful adult, but tell them as soon as you can. If something like this happens again, you can go to your helpful adults and tell them. They will help you feel safe. Let's remind ourselves, it is not your fault if someone makes you feel unsafe. It is not your fault if you cannot say no in an unsafe situation. It is not your fault if you cannot seek help from a helpful adult. Congratulations! You are now a personal safety champion. Here are 4 main things that we have learned together. It is unsafe to touch, look at, or talk about my private parts, except to keep my private parts clean and healthy. If someone breaks this rule, you can say no to them and get away from there. After that, you can tell what happened to a helpful adult. Always remember that whatever happened is not your fault. Finally, here is a song to remember the safety rules. Let's recall the safety rules, for they are vital safety tools. If private parts are being touched, it is unsafe, just know this much. Looking at them is unsafe too. Knowing this will also help you. And if they are being talked about, it is unsafe without a doubt. Except to keep you clean and healthy, these actions are unsafe indeed. So to stay safe, what can you say? Say no and get away. Then whom do you need to consult? You better tell a helpful adult. And no matter what they say, it's not your fault in any way. So to these rules, let's pay some heed, because staying safe is what we need.